We're here for our monthly construction update. We're going to start out at Dixie Elementary. Dixie Elementary is a school that was built in the 60s, and this is a complete remodel of the inside, all new air conditioning, floors, ceilings, new walls inside the existing classrooms, new technology. It's completely redo this building throughout. We're also adding on one end of the building, back to my left, 11 additional classrooms, and then out in the back part we're adding a new gymnasium, cafeteria, and music room, and then this front lobby where we're standing now will be totally remodeled. Here it'll be a rotunda in the front. Now if you look back to my right, you'll see down this hallway that is the existing building that hasn't been touched yet, except we have done the asbestos abatement. We had to remove all the floors in that area except the hallway. That's what it looks like. Now that area will be remodeled later on. That is not in this phase of the work. It'll be remodeled probably in about 2 months, so they'll start on that. Now as you come back around to my left, you will see a hallway here that is partially remodeled. What you're seeing there is the ceilings have been removed and all the new wiring and everything is being run above the ceiling. Then coming down the walls, you'll see the new ceramic tile wainscot on the wall. The paper with the tape on it you see on the floor is covering the newly installed ceramic tile floor. All that green you see will go away. All the walls will be repainted. If you can see to the left down the side hall here, that is new restrooms being installed there. This school previously has had a single restroom shared by 2 classrooms typically throughout the building. We are now, except for the kindergarten and first grade, we're taking all those out, putting in new multi-fixture restrooms for the 2nd through 6th graders. And the only ones that will have restrooms in the classroom will be the kindergarten and first grade. As we talked earlier of the new ceramic tile on the walls, here's something we've come up with since the last bond. This is called Sluter. It's a metal trim that goes on top and down the corners of the ceramic tile. What that does, instead of having just raw tile up here, this doesn't chip. And so it protects the edges, and it makes these corners last a whole lot longer and don't have to put the big bulky looking corner guards on. We're at a typical existing classroom of what they look like before the remodel is done. You'll notice the old boards on the wall, all the way around the wall. Those will all be gone. There'll be all new marker boards. In fact, 2 of the walls, the outside wall and the teaching wall, which is the wall directly in front of us, will be furred out with sheetrock so the new technology, power can be put in those walls, and they'll all be furred out. New cabinetry, all these old cabinets come out. They'll all be replaced with new. There'll be teachers' wardrobes for teachers put their things in. New ceiling, new lights, new floor. You can see, as I said earlier, we've already taken the floor out, but it's because we had to abate it. Now they'll come back to school here in August on this concrete floor. So the schools are just great about working with us so we can get these projects done. Now we're in a classroom that's being remodeled. Previously this room looked just exactly like the one we just came out of. You'll note over to my right, the cabinets are gone. And if you're going on around the room, you'll see the new sheetrock walls. What we've had to do there is fur those walls out with metal studs about 2 inches and then put the sheetrock in. Now you see all the new boxes for electrical, data, etc. in there. Up high you'll see, if you can see it behind that duct, there's 2 boxes up there. Those boxes are for the new wall-mounted projectors. They used to have ceiling mounts in here and they were old. So we're furnishing new wall-mount projectors to go to the new smart boards. And you can see around here also all the windows in the existing building are being replaced. These are new windows you're looking at here. We've had a lot of trouble in the past. The old windows have started to leak and cause a lot of problems. So we replaced every window in this existing building. Then where you're standing, you can't see it, but in the other room, you saw some doors there, and they were just like little closets. That's all been torn out, and that'll be the new computer area. Behind me, they're installing the Durarock cementitious backer board behind what will be the ceramic tile wainscot on the wall. There's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, it's impervious to water. Water's not going to hurt it. They get water in the hallway, it won't hurt. This is what you would use at home if you're putting a new shower in and want to put ceramic tile on it. Secondly, it's not tapered on the edges like sheetrock, so they can go ahead and apply the ceramic tile directly to this board without doing anything to it. We are now in the new 12-room addition. There are 11 classrooms and an art room in this addition. There's 2 classrooms there behind you and going down that way. An interesting feature of what they had to do to build this, we are standing 2 foot right now lower than the hallway we just came out of in the existing building. You go down this hall and you drop down another 2 feet into the cafeteria. And in the cafeteria, you leave and you go up 2 feet to the gymnasium. So when you're in the gym, you're still 2 feet lower than the floor of the existing building. Just to show you what it takes when you've got to build these buildings pretty much to fit the property you're building on, because the cost to cut, fill, and change that property that much is just prohibitive. So to hold the cost down, we build to fit the land as much best we can. As I mentioned earlier, this is the art room in this addition. You can tell the art room has a couple of unique things the classrooms don't have. To my right, there's a room. That is the kiln room. There'll be a kiln with a big exhaust hood in there where they can make their pottery and cook it in there. And then the other unique thing about this room is a door to the outside. That way the kids can go outside, do their art out here on the patio in the natural sunlight. We're now in the new cafeteria. As you can see, it's still under construction. You got fur downs all around the ceilings. The ceilings will go as high as 22 feet in here. From here, you look up back behind me, you see the stage. And then out to my right is the corridor. It runs all the way down that way to the gym and then back into the existing building. The gym is behind there. There's a music room behind that wall you see, and then the gymnasium is behind the music room. That concludes our tour of the remodel and addition at Dixie Elementary. You're looking at what is now the existing front door. That all changes, as I said before. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and we'll be back here in a couple of months and show you what's happened. Welcome to Moore Middle School. This is the first middle school we'll look at today. What you see behind me is, of course, the steel is being erected on the project. The furthest part back there is a wing. That consists of your music room, your choir room, orchestra, the stage, all that is back there in that. And then as you turn and come this way, you enter into the cafeteria, and then the lower roof you see there is the kitchen. What they're working on here is the first floor, and that will be C-wing. C-wing is the first half of the 3-story classroom structure. From C-wing, they will move in and do D, which comes on across here and ties into E and F, which is the gymnasiums, workout rooms, etc. over on this far end of the building. It goes all the way back down to where you see where those pickups are sitting way over there. Okay, what you're looking at here, as you know, it does rain in East Texas, and we have a tremendous amount of trouble with buildings keeping the water out. So what we've started doing is building a mock-up wall to show all the conditions that exist in the building. This hole here that you see will be a window. This is the brick ledge where the brick will come up, the outside wall. Down here you see some arches over in the building. This looks like the arch, and what we'll do, each craft that's going to work on the outside of that building, every craft will touch this mock-up. There'll be flashing put in on the brick, a window put in here, the window will be flashed, there'll be a roof condition at the top, that will be flashed. Everything we're going to do to that building will be done here. We will look at it and ensure that it's right. Then any craft that comes to work on that outer skin will be given the opportunity to come look at this, see what it's supposed to look like, to ensure we get exactly that over on the building to keep the water out. If you look over here where all the plumbing pipe is sticking up, that's C-wing, which we've talked about. They're making preparations to pour that slab next Wednesday. The importance of getting it poured next Wednesday is the structural steel for that area will be fabricated and ready for delivery on Friday. What has gone on out here? As many of you know, in the month of June, we had a lot of rain. This site, just by the nature of the way it's shaped and no drainage, became a pretty good mud hole, and it did cause us to slip backwards on the schedule. To overcome that, once we got the slabs poured back on A and B wing, the steel erector came in here with 2 cranes and about 2.5 crews and erected this entire building in about a week. And that has gained us back and got us back on schedule. That's what you do in this business. If you lose time, you figure out a way to make it up, and this contractor's done a good job of that. We're on the last stop of the July construction update tour. We are at the Three Lakes Middle School project. This time we're standing at the back end of B wing, which is the 2-story classroom section. Runs, if you look down as far as you can see down that way, you go from this B wing into A wing. One point I'll make, starting there where you see the X brace between the columns, if you look above, you see a little gray stain on the red up there. That's the concrete stain from the 2nd floor slab they poured starting at 3 o'clock this morning. This building is being decked over on the roof. Next week they'll pour the 2nd floor slab just above us. And what that does for us, that turns loose all the metal studs for the exterior walls on A wing can start. They're already on the job, so they'll probably start tomorrow. Underneath here you'll see electricians, ductmen, fire sprinkler people, plumbers, all working in the ceiling trying to get their stuff in before they build the walls, and they can't get their their scissor lifts down through there. Turning back around to your right, where you see the big square column standing out there, that is the library and a corridor going over to the last 2 wings, which is the gymnasium, cafeteria, all back in the back. But you see this library is going to be a very high ceiling. It'll be mostly glass, so it's going to be a very attractive building. The masonry walls you see going up are the 2 gymnasiums. Those walls will be 37 foot high when they reach the top, and then the bar joists will set across them. They are all load-bearing walls. And surrounding that gym will be all the dressing rooms, PE areas, etc. Then if you come back up where you don't see any concrete, just rebar sticking in the air, that is the cafeteria wing. All the white pipes sticking by the ground on the very end down here, that is the kitchen. The area between here and that wing is a large courtyard out there that you look into from the library. This project is running really well. We've had a lot of rain, but this ground has just handled the rain exceptionally well. We look to have, we would have the steel all erected back here next week, but we had a delay on getting the big bar joists to go across the library. They won't be here the following week. But that really doesn't affect the schedule because we've got this whole 2-story classroom wing to work on, plus everything you see back in D and E wing. This concludes our tour for the July construction update. We have visited Dixie Elementary for an addition and remodel. We have been to Moore Middle School, which is a brand new building on the existing site. And we're concluded here at Three Lakes Middle School. All projects are running well now. Everything is what seems to be on schedule. Cost is not an issue. We have that, everything is well within budget. As it stands right now, I see no foreseeable problems in the future on wrapping these things up in time for the school to open in August of 2015. We'll do this again in a month. Look forward to seeing you then.